Hello and welcome to my channel, The Way What Is Truth. Remember to like and to subscribe and to comment down below if you feel like doing so. Now today I was just walking along with my mother and I was looking at all these fancy cars that people had parked on their driveways, you know, Mercedes, BMW, Volvo, that kind of thing. And it's not just mere material possessions that people have and possess for a short period of time in their lives, and then eventually these cars go to the scrapyard, right? The same goes for whatever money we have, whatever we inherit, our academic achievements, our social status, whatever that may be, whatever we have accomplished in life. That doesn't mean to say that everything is meaningless to the extent that there's no point in doing anything and that we might as well just lie in bed all day and do absolutely nothing. I don't mean that. I mean that everything is temporary. Our failures are temporary. Our highs in life and our lows are temporary. All of our achievements are temporary. Even our relationships with our spouses, if we are in relationships, that is, everything that we have and possess and everything that we're experiencing right now is temporary and our lives are short. And I've had these thoughts on and off for years and years and years. And I've always thought to myself that we're living in a vain world, a vain, materialistic world full of the pride of life, lust of the eyes and lust of the flesh. Uh, People try and fulfill themselves and distract themselves with the pleasures of the flesh, with alcohol, with drugs, drink, a hedonistic and promiscuous lifestyle. Anyway, I don't want to keep babbling on, but I am going to read a portion of the book of Ecclesiastes. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm going to read Ecclesiastes, sorry, 1, 2, and a portion of 3 as well. So just bear with me. And as I'm reading this, leave a comment down below and just tell me your thoughts on this part of the Bible. Now, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist, an agnostic, a Christian, a Muslim, it doesn't matter who you are, or what your worldview is, or what your beliefs or lack of beliefs are. I still think this part of the Bible is enough to make anybody think, no matter who you are watching this video. So just bear with me. Right, so the book of Ecclesiastes. 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. This is, of course, talking about King Solomon. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit has a man from all his labour in which he toils under the sun? Just that part there is incredible. Okay, just think of all the billions of people right now who are out there working and toiling in various professions, doctors, nurses. Of course, they are worthwhile professions, are they not? A doctor or a nurse. But what I'm saying is, it's just talking about in general. Think about all the toiling that we do for money, for material possessions, to support our families if we have children, yeah? One generation passes away and another generation comes. Yeah? We're only alive for a short period of time. We're up for a short period of time and then we go. We wither away like the grass on the field. So let me read that from the start just to get us into the flow of this. Right, and definitely leave a comment down below because I'm looking forward to hearing anybody's feedback about this. Okay, so the book of Ecclesiastes, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit has a man from all his labour in which he toils under the sun? One generation passes away and another generation comes. But the earth abides forever. Now, do you know what I'm thinking of when I read that part? I'm thinking about all the wars that have been fought in the Middle East over land, about what land belongs to who, But the land has been there long before these people were even around to argue or create wars over what part of the land belongs to who. Think about how ridiculous all this is. But the earth abides forever. The sun also rises and the sun goes down and hastens to the place where it arose. The wind goes toward the south and turns around to the north. The wind whirls about continually and comes again on its circuit. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. To the place from which the rivers come, there they return again. Yeah, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we're bickering about, no matter what nasty comments we leave underneath YouTube videos arguing with people and being keyboard warriors, they call it these days, and the internet's full of trolls as well. It's just crazy. Everything carries on as it always has, all these thousands upon thousands of years. And we're just full of it, basically, aren't we? We're just full of nonsense a lot of the time, unfortunately, because we are fallen creatures. This applies to me just as much as it applies to you and everybody else. Yeah. So we are at the book of Ecclesiastes. Sorry, I do struggle to pronounce some of these words. 7, right? All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. To the place from which the rivers come, there they return again. All things are full of labour, man cannot express it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. That which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. History repeats itself. If you ask any archaeologist or historian worth their salt, they will tell you that history repeats itself. And there is nothing new under the sun, and essentially that's true. Human nature has not changed. For as long as mankind has existed, human nature has always been the same. We keep repeating the same mistakes. You get the idea. We're human. We make mistakes. And we are a mixture of good and bad, are we not? Is there anything of which it may be said, see, this is new? It has already been in ancient times before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come by those who will come after. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I set my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all that is done under heaven. This burdensome task God has given to the sons of man, by which they may be exercised. I've seen all the works that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be numbered. I think he's referring to human nature there, but correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments section by all means. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be numbered. Now we are at the book of the Ecclesiastes 1:15. Now we're on to 16. I communed with my heart, saying, look, I have attained greatness and have gained more wisdom than all who were before me in Jerusalem. My heart has understood great wisdom and knowledge. He prayed for wisdom, right? He didn't pray for riches, he prayed for wisdom so that he could guide his people. So then God decided to give him both wisdom and riches and all the rest of it. And I set my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceived that this also is grasping for the wind. Yeah. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. How true is that? The more we know, the more wisdom and knowledge we have, the less happy we tend to be. It doesn't have to be like that, but it tends to be like that because we become more aware of both the good and the bad around us. Now we are on to the book of Ecclesiastes 2. You'll have to forgive me, I do struggle to pronounce certain words, I get tongue-tied sometimes. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with mirth, therefore enjoy pleasure. But surely this also was vanity. I said of laughter, madness, and of mirth, what does it accomplish? I searched in my heart how to gratify my flesh with wine, while guiding my heart with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for the sons of men to do under heaven, all the days of their lives. I made my works great. I built myself houses, and planted myself vineyards. I made myself gardens and orchards, and I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I had made myself water pools from which to water the growing trees of the grove. I acquired male and female servants and had servants born in my house. Yes, I had great possessions of herds and flocks than all who were in Jerusalem before me. I also gathered for myself silver and gold and the special treasures of kings and of the provinces. Just imagine this. I acquired male and female singers, the delights of the sons of men, and musical instruments of all kinds. A life well lived, would you not say? So I became great and excelled more than all who were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure, for my heart rejoiced in all my labour, and this was my reward from all my labour. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had done, and on the labour in which I had toiled, and indeed all was vanity and grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun. Then I turned myself to consider wisdom and madness and folly, for what can the man do who succeeds the king? Only what he has already done. Then I saw that wisdom excels folly as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walks in darkness. Yet I myself perceived that the same event happens to them all. So I said in my heart, as it happens to the fool, it also happens to me. And why was I then more wise? And then I said in my heart, this is also vanity. Can you see that there's a recurring theme here? That much of what we do and toil for in this life is in vain because it's all temporary. It's all just running around in circles. That doesn't mean to say that there's no meaning to life. Of course there is, but we've all got to put everything into proper perspective. For there is no more remembrance of the wise than of the fool forever. Since all that now is will be forgotten in the days to come. And how does a wise man die? As the fool. Yeah. We're dust. Once we pass away, and then we are at the Lord God Almighty's mercy. It's the judgment seat of Christ. Therefore I hated life, because of the work what was done under the sun was distressing to me. For all is vanity and grasping for the wind. Then I hated all my labour in which I had toiled under the sun, because I must leave it to the man who will come after me. And who knows whether he will be wise or a fool. I can't help but laugh and smile at this, because it's so true. Yet he will rule over all my labour in which I toiled, and which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This also is vanity. Therefore I turned my heart and despaired of all the labour in which I had toiled under the sun. For there is a man whose labour is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not laboured for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. It can certainly be a great evil. For what has man for all his labour and for the striving of his heart, with which he has toiled under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart takes no rest. This also is vanity. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labour. This also I saw was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who can have enjoyment more than I? For God gives wisdom and knowledge and joy to a man who is good in his sight. But to the sinner he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before God. This also is vanity and grasping for the wind. Now, I'm not going to read the whole of Ecclesiastes 3, but I'm going to read a portion of it, so bear with me. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. I've always said that our lives are very much like spring, summer, autumn and winter. The teenage years and our early to mid-20s are spring. No, actually, spring is childhood and our teenage years, yes. Summer is anywhere from the age of 20 to 35. Or should I say from the age of 20 to our late 30s. Yeah. Autumn is like late 30s to like, yeah, to 50s, 60s. And then winter is like 65 and over. Yeah. And there's a beauty to every season. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to gain and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. This so well describes the human condition. It's brilliant. A time of war and a time of peace. And I'm just thinking about whether or not to keep reading. Yeah, and then it goes on to say, what profit has the worker from that in which he labours? I've seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Every season of our lives has a beauty. Spring, summer, autumn and winter. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. Who can fathom the ways of God? Yeah, sure, God has put eternity in our hearts, which is the reason, by the way, why the vast majority of the world's population believes in some kind of higher power, even if it's not the God of the Bible. But yes, I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labour. It is the gift of God. And I think I'll stop reading there, otherwise I'll just carry on and on and on. But yes, definitely read the book of Ecclesiastes. Will I ever be able to say it? Ecclesiastes. Yes, I think I can just about say it. But yeah, I've got this thing where if I'm seeing a word that I'm not familiar with, I tend to stutter just a little bit. I struggle to bring it out of my mouth. I don't know why. Perhaps I need to relax a little bit more. I don't know. Perhaps there are soothing techniques or something on the internet I could look into. But anyway, yes. I hope you've enjoyed this, and let's just reflect on what really matters in life, and that's love, relationships, our relationship with God, the good we do for one another, charity, helping people in need, prayer, repentance, that kind of thing. bearing up with one another and forgiving one another's sins and forgiving one another and being long suffering towards one another and tolerating other people's worldviews and beliefs and not shoving the gospel down people's throats. And we need to bear in mind that we need to live and let live. We should never try and force our worldview on anybody else, and we just need to live and let live. Pray for other people, forgive them, let them know that you're a Christian, be a faithful witness, but only God can save anybody. Like I said in my short video recently, there's more in this life that we don't know than what we do. You can ask any scientist, any historian, any doctor, anybody who excels in any profession, any expert on this planet. You could ask any genius, anybody at all, right? And they will tell you, if they have anything about them at all, that there is more in this life that we don't know than what we do. And the more we learn, the more we realise just how little we know. Okay, and that's certainly been the case with me, because as I've gotten older, not only have I realised more and more and more just how vain a lot of this life is: money, material possessions, our temporary achievements in life. It all counts for nothing, really. Only the good we do to one another and following Christ. That's what it's all about. It's all about Christ. All of our achievements, both good and bad, all the good and bad things that happen in our lives, our highs and lows, yeah? All of it's temporary. Our problems are temporary. Our happiness is temporary. Money is temporary. Cars are temporary. The holidays we go on are temporary. You get the idea. God bless you all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Leave a comment down below. Bye bye and take care.